Hello, 5th graders. Welcome to lesson 2.3, Divide by Two-Digit Divisors. Let's get started. Today's objective is I can divide 3-digit dividends by 2-digit divisors by using the standard algorithm with 100% accuracy in multiple attempts. Please pause to write the lesson objective in your math notebook. Today's lesson doesn't have a vocabulary, so let's go ahead and unlock the problem. It says, Mr. Yates owns a smoothie shop. To mix a batch of his famous orange punch smoothies, he uses 18 ounces of freshly squeezed orange juice. Each day, he squeezes 560 ounces of fresh orange juice. How many batches of orange punch smoothies can Mr. Yates make? So we know that we're going to divide 560 by 18. Today we have a 2-digit number. When we have a 2-digit number, we follow the same steps. You might have heard this as does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers, or dad, mom, sister, brother. So we're going to go ahead and follow these steps. First off, we're going to estimate. We're going to estimate the place value where our number is going to start. We know that 18 doesn't go into 5, so it's going to have to go into 56. And 56 is in the tens place. So knowing that, if we get a bigger number than the tens place, then we've done something wrong. Let's go ahead and jump into this problem. The book has started the first problem for us. They told us that 18 times 3 is 54. 54 is as close as we can get to 56 without going over. We multiply, so we divided, then we multiplied, then we subtract. 56 minus 54 is 2. And then we check, make sure everything is okay, and bring down. So on the side, we multiplied 18 times 3, and that gave us the answer of 54. And then we did 56 minus 54, which left us over with 2, and we're ready to bring down the 0. Once we bring down the 0 with that 2, we have 20 on the bottom, and we start all over again. Does divide. How many times does 18 go into 20? It goes in 1 time. 18 times 1, we multiply, right? So we did 20 divided by 18. Then we did 18 times 1. 18 times 1 equals 18, so we're subtracting 20 minus 18. We're left over with 2. There's nothing else to bring down, so that means that 2 is the remainder. So our check is 2 is the remainder. Since 31, our estimate, was close to our answer of 30, we know that this is reasonable, so Mr. Yates can make 31 batches of orange juice each day. Let's try one together. We are going to divide the number 48 into the number 851. The first thing that we stop and do is we think that 48 has to move together all at once. We can't separate the 4 and the 8. We can't think how many times does 8 go into 8. We want the whole thing, 48, to go into the number. So can I take a group of 48 out of 8? Nope, I can't. So I have to go into the number 85. So if I think about 48 times 2, sometimes when we divide, we have to do a little bit of multiplying to see how close we can get. 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So even 48 times 2 gets us more than 85, so it can only go in 1 time. So the 1 goes on top. So this was my divide step. Now I multiply. 48 times 1 is 48. And I write that underneath and I'm ready to subtract. If I have 5, I can't take away 8, so I have to borrow from the 8, which changes to a 7, and now my 5 is a 15. 15 minus 8 is 7. 7 minus 4 is 3. So I'm left over with 37. We check, we make sure everything is okay. We divided, we multiplied, we subtracted. We're ready to bring down. So now 48 is kind of close to 50. So if we think how many groups of 50 could go close to 371, 50 and 50 would be 100, 50 and 50 would be 200, 50 and 50 would be 300, so 6 50s gets us to 300. So let's multiply by 7 and see how close we can get. So 48 times 7. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 4 is 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So we get the answer 336. 336 is pretty close to 371, but let's multiply 48 by 8 just to make sure that we can't go one bigger. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 4 is 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Okay, so 48 times 8 is 384, which is too much. So we're going to put the 7 on top, and 336 goes underneath. Then we subtract. 1 minus 6 we can't do. So we go next door to the 7, and we borrow. 7 changes to a 6, and this 1 comes over here, and we have 11. So 6 taken from 11, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is 5. And 6 in the middle minus 3 is 3. And 3 minus 3 is 0. So now we stop and check. Is there anything to bring down? No. Is our number smaller than what we're dividing by? Yep. So that means that it is a remainder. So our answer is 17, remainder 35. Let's go ahead and check this problem before we divide the other problem. Remember that you'll need to write this in your digital math notebook. So we started with the number 851. When we divide, we can multiply to check and make sure our answer is right. So on the previous page, we divided 48 and we got the answer of 17. So we're taking, this is our divisor, and this was our quotient. And in the end, we're going to add our remainder. And we should get back to our original number. Let's multiply to see if we do. 8 times 7 is 56. Then we go diagonal. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 5 is 33. Then we start with a magic 0. And we multiply everything by our 1. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. We add these two rows together. 6 plus 0 is 6. 8 plus 3 is 11. And 3 plus 1 is 4. And 4 plus 4 is 8. So we get 816. Plus our remainder of 35. 5 plus 6 is 11. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and bring down the 8. So you'll see over here, and our answer was 851. So when we divide, we have a built-in way to check our answer, which is multiplying. All right, friends, it's your turn. Let's get started together. First, we're going to divide, then we will multiply to check. 64 has to travel together, so 64 can't come out of a group of 8. And if we think 60 and 60 is 120, so it can't go in more than once. 1 times 64 is 64, and we subtract. If we have 3, we can't take away 4, so we borrow. This becomes a 7, and now we have 13. 13 minus 4 is 9, and 7 minus 6 is 1, so we're left over with 19. Then we bring down the 5. Hi, how many times could 64 go into 195? Well, we know 60 and 60 is 120, so let's multiply by 3 to check. So 64 times 3. It might be too big, but that's okay. 3 times 4 is 12. And 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Oh, perfect. Look, it's not too big. It's really close. So 3 is going to go on top. 192 goes underneath. We subtract, and we're left over with 3. Your job in the lesson activity is to finish this problem by multiplying to check. 64 was our divisor, and 12 was our quotient. And you know what? I'm noticing this should be a 13. So 13 is our quotient. And then when we're done, don't forget to add 3. So solve this problem and type your answers in your digital math notebook. Great job, 5th graders. Make sure you complete your exit slip to show your teacher your understanding. See you soon.